Next up is the heater hose connections. I already connected them a long time ago on this end to the heat exchanger in the, or the, what do you call it, the heater core inside the air conditioning unit. So the bottom hose, which goes actually from the intake manifold to the shut-off switch and then into the bottom nipple on the heater core. And then the top one comes out and goes to the water pump. So that's what I'm trying to do. Of course, keeping in mind that I got to make sure that they're not in the way of the fan belts or anything like that that could wear on them. So I'm trying to figure that out right now. I'm most of the way there. I think I'll go and look at it the rest of the way. What they show is the line coming from the intake manifold going underneath the bracket, the air conditioner, between the two legs of the bracket into the heater core. And then the other one coming out of the heater core and going just under the air compressor bracket, air conditioner compressor bracket, and to the nipple on the water pump. So I'm gonna have to see if I can route those that way or something similar, and I'll be back. Okay, it's tough to get a good picture of everything that's going on here, but this is the return hose that goes to the water pump. Underneath it is the hose that comes from the manifold, and they actually crisscross down in here somewhere. Actually, it's under the air conditioning compressor where they crisscross, and can't really see it, but they do crisscross there. And then this one goes up to the manifold, and this one comes to the water pump. So I'm gonna grab some clamps and put them on there, and that part of the job will be finished. In order to get those hoses routed, I had to disconnect the Sniper 10 pin, it's 12 pin connector, but 10 are only used, from the Sniper unit. But that's going to actually make it easier to get to that if I have to disconnect that in the future. So that will eventually get connected back there. I'm going to wait until I've got the transmission cooling lines in place. I'm going to zoom in on the place where it connects. We'll see how well the video comes out. I may or may not put it on YouTube. First thing I'm going to do is cut the hose that goes into the manifold to what I think is the proper length. Being careful not to cut it too short. I'd rather be long than short. So, and finally take this tape off of the nipple where it's going to go on, and I got to go get me a hose clamp. So if you've been following this project a long time, you'll recognize these fittings that I bought to make the hoses connections look nice, and I put them on at the heater core, and there was a big gap between this and the hose, even though this is the recommended size for that hose. This next smallest one won't work. So what I did to make it look better and get this thing centered is I put an O-ring see if I can find a way to put this on and be able to get it tightened and not see that not see that tightening nut for the clamp. There's actually a regular clamp in between there. This doesn't come off, so it's got to go on like this. Wish it fit better. Okay, that feels like that hose is all the way in up against that fitting on the, hopefully you can see that. Struggling between trying to get light on it and not have the light being in the way. I'll zoom in a little bit, actually a lot, and you can see the O-ring, and I'm going to shove that down inside there so that it makes the gap between that fancy fitting and the hose uniform all the way around. That's really all it's doing. So it looks a little better. Because otherwise it'll be, the hose will be off-centered in the fitting. Okay. Get that a little bit further in there. Now to tighten it, it's a 1/4 inch socket I'm using on it. That'll make this easy to work with. I think maybe I should get my little electric battery powered ratchet. See about tightening it with that, that might make it a lot easier. Okay, it's set to tighten. You know what? I think that thing's a metric. It's probably a 7 or 8. Pause the video while I'm... Well, I got the metric 6 socket. That appears to be the right one. 6 millimeter. I'm going away from the electric ratchet because I got it tightened by hand far enough that I was afraid that I'd over tighten it if I used the power ratchet. That is almost ready to kink. If I would have made that bend any tighter or that hose any shorter, I'd be kicking myself right now. The one across at the bottom here is a little easier, but same process. I'm not going to video it. Simply because it's pretty hard to get the camera into the area where the nipple is on the water pump. So I did the whole spiel about being able to rotate this to make the direction of the clamp reversed. You can take this out by prying off the cap, tightening this a bit so that it comes out of, there's a groove in there, so it comes out of the groove, and pressing this back on. I'm having trouble doing that, reaching around the tripod to the camera, so I think I'm going to take it over to the vise and use that to gently press it back in the direction I need it.